Hello, I've had some questions about silos. Specifically, do you have to have them? Are they worth it? Could you just not do without it? What if you get a map and it doesn't have a silo? What do you do? And what if you're planting this crop or that crop? So I'm Farmer Teacher. Stick around. We're going to cover these things and tell you all about silos. Okay, check it out. As an example, here's a map in South America, and it has, you got a house there, you got some good storage, you got a cow pen here with some cows, you got a place for your equipment, but notice there is not a silo here on your little farm. Okay, let me show you on the map. So what if you get a situation like this, where you have this little area, you got cows and stuff, and you have one field, and check this out. You got like 11 acres of soybeans that you're going to farm. So do you need a silo? In this particular case, I would probably get one, okay? Because soybeans, let me show you on the menu. If you go to prices, and let's look at soybeans. Okay, now we're going to harvest soybeans in October. Okay, and look at that. It's kind of going down almost to its low point. In October, you're not going to get very much for it. In fact, what you're going to get in October is about half what you're going to get if you sell it, put it in a silo, and then sell it in July. Okay, I'll show you some data here in a minute. It is worth your while then to put this in a silo and sell it. Okay, so if you were going to get a silo, you go to, the way you get them is you go to the construction menu, and at the top there, you're going to scroll over until you see silos. Okay, the cheapest one there is $30,000 and it holds 75,000 liters. There's one for $20,000, 75,000, 100,000 liters, $60,000 to get you 150. There's 200,000. Well, how big a one do you need? Okay, this is a standard one on a lot of maps. I have a mod in here too, and I'll talk about that in a second, why it's so good, but it holds 10 million for $30,000, and that's a bargain. And it can fit in a lot of different places. So that's just an example. But how big a silo do you need? Well, right now we have, about 11 acres right here. And I might want to buy this field, 20-something acres. A good rule of thumb, and it depends on what you're doing. If I was just harvesting soybeans, they're a little bit smaller, your yield, your liters per acre. But a rule of thumb is to be safe if you're doing barley, canola, the usual grains, and some other things. An average is 10,000 or less liters per acre. So in other words, this one here for $30,000, that's about 7.5 acres worth. And this one is about 10 acres and so forth. So this one is about 40 acres. Okay, and then 20 acres. So I might want to get this one if I could, or get a mod that's going to be cheaper. And these are cheaper too, but that's those Meridian silos. Those are hard to deal with unless you know what you're doing. So as an example, if you divide that liters by 10, that's about how many acres it's going to cover. All right, let me show you something else. Okay, we're on Riverbend Springs now, and suppose I was playing on this and I got in a tight and wanted to sell my silo, okay, because I just needed the cash. Could I do that? Well, you can. Let me show you. And the way you sell it is you go to construction, okay, and you go over to the item. It's going to tell you what you're going to get. And usually you're going to get half what it costs to put it in there, okay? So if I sold that, I get $38,489. If it was brand new, I'd get, half of $75,000 because that's what that cost. Okay, now the capacity of this thing is 200,000. But when I go to replace that, okay, it's going to cost me $80,000 to put that back. So be wary. You get 38,000 today, but later you're going to want to put it back. And it's going to cost you 80. So you're losing money in the long run to do that. Not the best option, but if you're really in a tight and you're completely out of money, that might be something. Okay, there's 45,000 for that. I think I'd sell my barn because it doesn't affect you monetarily, and this does. Okay, this does. Now, if you did sell it though, or you have a farm that doesn't have a silo, one of the things you can do is plant a crop that doesn't matter much. Let me show you some things here on the menu, some data. Okay, if you're planting barley as an example, barley on the easy mode, During the harvest month, you're going to get $854 for that. Okay, if you don't have a silo and you're going to sell it when you harvest it. If you wait though until the optimum time, which is around January for that, you're going to get 1,137 per 1,000 liters. In other words, a 33% increase. Okay, canola, you're going to get 1,474 today, or when you harvest it, but 2,131 if you wait to the optimum time of the year. That's a 45% increase. Look at corn. If you sell corn when you harvest it, it's 737 per 1,000 liters, but 1,515 or 106% more than double if you wait until the optimum time. Okay, and then soybeans are like that too. Like corn, it's about double. Now, some of them are real close. Okay, some of them are real close. Look at long grain rice and rice. So if I didn't have a silo, I would probably make a field if I had some level, like I was in Riverbend Springs behind me, you have a level field. I would probably just make the field long grain rice, or if I didn't want to fool with a silo. And there you go. You can sell that and you're going to get the same when you harvest it. That's the optimum time of the year to sell it for rice or long grain rice. Okay, but if you're doing soybeans or corn, certainly you want to put that in a silo. So if I didn't have a silo, I probably wouldn't do soybeans or corn. I might do rice or at least sunflowers. That's only 8% loss. Okay, so that's not a whole lot of difference. Okay, you could do sunflowers, maybe barley at 33%. But there you go. That gives you an idea. Okay, that gives you an idea of what you can do there. So, okay, let me show you this mod I was talking about, this silo mod. Let's take a look. Okay, to find this mod, real quick, you're just going to type in silos multi. Okay, and that's it right there. Silos multi-fruit. And there's several things I like about it. One, it's pretty cheap at $30,000 and a 10 million liter capacity. Monthly upkeep is only $5. And there's some variations there you can get. One of the main things I like about this thing is you can get all kind of products in it, stuff you can't get in a regular silo. I often use it for grass or hay because it will store that just like a hayloft. Okay, but you could also put like grapes and olives and sugar beets and potatoes in there that you can't get in a regular silo. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so this is a great mod for your farm. I just want to show you that. The Silos Multi-Fruit for 30 grand. It's somewhat of a cheat because it's a bargain for what you get. But there you go. That's all I got. I just want to talk to you about silos and why you need one. So that's it. I'm Farmer Teacher. Share this with your farming buddies. I'll see you on the next go-round. Bye-bye.